Hey everybody, happy Sunday. I love that part. Anyways, so happy Sunday, by the way. Last Sunday I predicted with a pretty good idea that Rush was going to be on the Juno Awards. I predicted they'd be on first. I was running around at 7:58 last Sunday, just getting stuff ready for Monday, and just running around. Had TV in the bedroom on and the TV in the living room on, just so I wouldn't miss anything. Because I knew I had a good idea that they're going to throw them on first. Because why not? What a way to start the show. So yeah, I was upstairs, and exactly 8 o'clock, the CBC music thing rolled across, and we saw someone playing that amazing riff. So a lot to talk about here about the performance. Not a lot, just a few tidbits of information that you may or may not know. By the way, wasn't it phenomenal? I mean, if you're a Rush fan, hopefully you are. I know a few of you out there. John Tucker in Edmonton. Cheers. One of the first persons that texted me or messaged me when it came on. And then, my friend Brian Doyle, huge Rush fan. Bunch of other people, lots of other people I know, Steve Waterston, lots of people that I know that are huge Rush fans in my world, in my life, and my friends and all that. And like it's kind of like when Neil passed away, I had flooded with texts, but and the same kind of thing. Still, you saw, if you're a real Rush fan, you were crying. I mean, I was crying. I was watching it, going, "Oh my God, they're here!" And Annika Miles. Oh my God, let's talk about Annika for a bit. There's a lot of comments that I saw that I kind of scrolled by real quickly. Choice of songs, and this ties in with Annika. Don't know how to pronounce that yet. It might be Anika. Annika Miles, Anika Miles, Niles. Let's get my coffee in me so I can figure out what I'm talking about. Okay. Controversies on the song. Okay. Finding my way off the first album. As most of you should know, Neil Peart did not play on the first album. It was the first drummer, John Rutsey, who was basically let go, I believe, before the first album tour. So Neil was around for the first album stuff, and then subsequently went in to record Fly By Night next. But yeah, well, it wasn't a Neil song, so a lot of comments were like, "Oh, she's not playing Neil song yet." Well, I think Getty answered that in the press conference for the choice of songs. Getty answered it by saying they didn't know what to play first, so the management team said, first song, first album, rebirth of the band, this is the song you're doing. So they did Finding My Way. And Finding My Way is I heard that opening guitar riff and was like, oh man, this is so amazing. And she played it incredible, put her own twist on a lot of things if you know the song really well. Totally consummate pro, perfectly played it just amazingly. Looked like she was having a great time back there. Angela, my wife, calls her the bravest person in the world right now because she's got to go up against not only being, obviously being a female drummer, but obviously filling the shoes or emulating or whatever you want to call what she's doing, because there's a lot of tribute type acts out there. And I don't mean like the tribute acts that I play in. I mean the tribute acts that are actually having, actual members of the bands and maybe one member of the band out there, and they're still out there slugging away. There's a whole pile of them, by the way. We used to call them one-man bands because there's like, especially Foreigner was a no-man band, but Foreigner had Mick Jones in for a while, but it was a one-man band. Now it's a basically a tribute act with all the billing. So more power to them, right? If it's a tribute act, it can play with the actual name and not have to put tribute behind it. Great. But anyhow, yeah, she has to fill in the shoes for Neil Peart, and that would be hard for anybody to be compared. Danny Carey would have a hard time with that. Portnoy would have a hard time with that, who were the first two choices I think that people thought would be the replacement for any kind of tour. Of course, they announced the tour first and then talked about the drummer, which was a real cool thing to do. Also, honorable mention goes to Lauren Gold, the new keyboard player for Rush, who is a veteran keyboardist for The Who. I believe started in The Who quite a number of years ago, was their touring keyboardist for the Quadrophenia stuff and all that. I'm not sure. You guys can let me know who did see The Who last time. Maybe he was the guy last time The Who came through Toronto. Also played with Chicago since 2022 or 2021, 22. I think he was filling in for somebody. Then he got the spot for Chicago, so he was in that band. So I always get asked, when a guitar player leaves a band, goes, "Oh, aren't you going to go out for that spot?" And they don't really audition for those gigs unless you're Skid Row looking for a singer. What that whole story of if you know about that. But yeah, they don't usually do that. They just find people within circles, and it's amazing who knows who out there. They found Annika through Sully, who was roadieing in Europe, who's Geddy Lee's bass player. Geddy Lee's bass tech. And he said she's perfect, she's great, she's awesome, and apparently she's been in the band for quite a while. They've been rehearsing for almost a year, I think they said, which is amazing. Now, and so people ask me, hey, go for that spot. I said, you're not going to get a chance to get for that spot unless you're auditioning. So you call for an open audition, because they just get people within their circles, and that's how they found Annika. And of course, Lauren Gold, I'm sure he knew a ton of people. I know Geddy knows The Who very well and that kind of thing, but they're out there. Great players are out there, and a lot of them are just side people that are just phenomenal players. And hats off to a lot of those players that I know that are out there doing it. And then it's they just find people to do that, and they find the right people to do it. So Annika, the bravest person in the world right now, phenomenal, did a great job. Lauren Gold, no keyboard parts in Finding My Way, but he did manage to throw in some Hammond B3 in there. We heard it at the end of the song, and it sounded phenomenal. That's going to be great to see Geddy out there dancing with Alex during guitar solos and songs like I think Thomas Sawyer was one. It's a big keyboard song. I'm not sure what they'll do from the the 1982 on, where there was a ton of keyboards in the music. But anyways, Rush performs first on the Junos, introduces their two new members that are going to help them out on tour. I had a feeling there was going to be a guitar player too. I don't know. Maybe when it comes time for the tour. Let's talk about the song itself. Now, not too many people have talked about this because not too many people have jammed along with it, but I put it on just now just to see how they were getting through the version. Oh yeah, another tidbit. What we talked about, new members song on the Junos. Another tidbit of information was, and I just lost it. I just lost that one. So I'll talk about the one I was going to talk about before. Alex was playing a Les Paul. That is a Greenie copy. Now, a lot of people were saying it actually was Greenie. If you don't know who Greenie is Peter Green's Les Paul that was bought by Gary Moore, guitar legend who's now passed away. Gary Moore's Greenie was sold while he was still alive. People have owned it as famous as Eric Johnson's owned this guitar. A lot of collectors have owned it, and now Kirk Hammett from Metallica owns the guitar. Apparently, Kirk sleeps with this guitar. It's arguable. Kirk was never going to tell us how much he paid for the guitar, but it's upwards of $2 million apparently. And that guitar is now available as a replica from Gibson for a huge amount of money, which is, I think Alex was playing a replica because I did not see Kirk Hammett standing beside the stage watching how careful he would be with his guitar. Mind you, he probably loves Alex, and I think he would be there with the guitar. So a Greenie copy was played by Alex. I'm going to go with a Greenie copy. I don't know what he knows for sure. I'm not sure a lot of people do, but I don't. But so he's playing a Greenie Les Paul. If you look at it, if you know how Greenie is, see how the screws are on this side as a standard way, and the screws are facing the neck. On Greenie, the pickup's flipped around and the screws are facing the back, just like the bridge pickup on my Les Paul here. Not my Les Paul, Jacob's Les Paul. So that's how you know Greenie. And apparently that's an out of phase sound that was a mistake because the guy put the pickup in the wrong way. Anyways, you guitar geeks know about that. So, the song itself. Now, there's a lot of controversy whether Geddy can sing this stuff. So, if you didn't know this already, so this is a flash drive because I haven't heard anyone talk about this on the internet yet. This is the exact same tuning that they were playing on the record because I just played along with it for a little bit. Standard. A440. Standard. Hear it. If you haven't heard it before, hear first on my show. Geddy Lee was singing an A440 standard. So when he went, yeah, oh yeah, that was exactly the pitch that he hit it on the first album, and the first note you ever heard Geddy Lee sing, if you were, unwrapping that Rush album back in whatever year that was. 73? I can't remember what year it was. They're playing in standard tuning. I don't think they'll play in standard tuning live on tour, but I think they did that on purpose to get the sound and just to show that Geddy's got it. So everybody was complaining about Geddy singing, not singing perfectly. Surprise, surprise, guys. He was doing that. He was having, not a bad time. A lot of people think that he was singing just as good as R40, or if not better than R40. When super fan Liam of my friend of mine, or student of mine, and friend and everything else, he says he was singing better than before R40. So, and he was and just so you didn't know, he was in standard tuning. Okay, so new members, Annika killed it. Guitar from Alex, standard tuning. Why was the song first? Yeah, okay, all that stuff was in there, and it was just great to see Rush do this. If you looked at the audience, it was more of the pop audience that goes to award shows now. I saw one guy there who was obviously losing his mind when it came on. But congratulations to Geddy and Alex and Lauren and Annika for pulling it together and playing on the Juno Awards and giving us the preview of what we're going to see live. We don't know the set list, but I'm sure they're going to play. It's going to be satisfying, I'll say. And the other thing is, you gotta understand that there's always been a Rush Triumph rivalry. Rush and the band Triumph, both trios, both from Toronto, both, Rick Emmett high vocals, Geddy Lee high vocals, very Zeppelin bass, double necks, bass player plays keyboards, bass player has long hair. There's a lot of similarities, double bass kit. There were so many similarities between Rush and Triumph. The music wasn't similar. Rush was in their own world for their style of music. Same with Triumph. Triumph was a little bit more commercial. Yes, I know they were. A lot of people hated Triumph because they said they were a business. I love Triumph. I can't wait to see. I'm counting down the days. It's on April 25th. I'm going to see them in Cops Coliseum, or no, sorry, whatever it's called now, TD Place, whatever it's called. It's always called Cops Coliseum, just like Sky Dome and ACC and all that. Anyways, so yeah, so Triumph comparison. There's a little bit of I think there's a little fine line, even though those guys all know each other. Like Alex and Rick are really, really good friends in that, but I think there's a little rivalry about that tour. Rush announced the tour, Triumph announces their tour, and all kinds of videos of Triumph in rehearsal, which sounds great if you've seen these videos. I don't know, sure. Gil was back on the huge double bass kit. The Rush is using side people. Triumph is using side people. Another comparison again. Support people for the tour, and Rush obviously preempted Triumph as a live performance and took it back. There's going to be more of that, but of course, Triumph's tour starts before Rush's, so I'm sure they're practicing their butts off, man, to be perfect. I think Triumph opens the tour in Sault Ste. Marie just to get the bugs out, and then comes straight down to Toronto and Hamilton. Wow, that's brave. That's really brave. They should have done more tour and more shows. Anyways, Triumph's tour is going to be a lot shorter than Rush's. I think Rush has got to be rejuvenated. Rush. I mean, let's be face facts here. Rush is a lot bigger than Triumph. Rush has sold a lot more albums. Rush, stayed together till the end. Rush and Triumph broke up. Triumph was still together as an entity, but let's be real. If you're a Triumph fan, they broke up. So, anyhow, that was the last thing I say. Here's another shot at the competition between Triumph and Rush right now, which is not many people are talking about either. You hear it here first. Anyways, thanks to Jacob D'Souza for. I didn't ask him, but it's here because he stores the rest of his guitars here because he can only fit 5. I think he fits 5 in his apartment. Yeah, whose kid is he, right? He's got five guitars in his apartment. Actually, two basses, and I think 3 or 4 guitars. I've got one here that's being repaired for him, which I got to get to. He gave it to me at Christmas, and it's like April now. That's terrible. Anyways, thanks Jacob for letting me use the Les Paul. I know you don't have any Les Pauls at home right now, but this one is staying here, and I think I can give you some money for it down the road when I can afford it. Anyways, Keep the Faith is going to be playing first out of 2 of my bands. The next gig, I always get ready for the next gig. So the next gig is April 18th. Spot 1 in Brampton, Ontario. For all the Toronto people that want to see us, come on out. And only so much room. I think all their tables are probably reserved now. They're gone. If next time you want to see us is on May 22nd in Hanover, Ontario. Only a handful of tickets left for that show. We had that show booked since like last year. So that's it's the first time in for Hanover, but we've been playing in the area. We played Meaford, and we had some gigs, possible gigs in Owen Sound coming up in the area. So southwestern Ontario or slightly northern, I guess Bruce County kind of guys can see us play up there. Yeah. Hanover. And then my birthday gig is May 29th in Lindsay, Ontario. We love Lindsay. Lindsay was my second gig with Keep the Faith. Now I'm coming back for my birthday gig. It's a big birthday, by the way. It's a big birthday. You win free tickets to Nothing. I can't afford to give away free tickets. You win my admiration if you can guess guess my age, because it's a big birthday. Anyhow, this is like one of the longest shows I've done because I rambled on about Rush. Why not ramble on about Rush? Because they deserve to be rambled on about. Does anyone? Let me know if you like my short videos that are out there. I have a lot of short videos going out. I have a lot of guitar prep that's coming up for this season. Those videos can be found on TikTok first. All my lessons are on TikTok. If you want to see, there's about a year's worth of lessons on there. If you didn't know that already, some of them hit Facebook before. Now they're all hitting Facebook now that I've been putting them all together. They hit Facebook, Instagram, on Instagram Reels as well, and they're all out there. If you're in the Brantford, Hamilton area on April 19th, April 17th, the day before Spot 1, I'll be doing a guitar master class. It's the first in a series of 3. You can sign up for all the individual ones if you don't want to pay for all 3. I have a ton of people who are just in for all 3. I say a ton of people. I can only put 10 people in this. There might be a spot left. I'm not sure. Message me and let me know if you want that spot. It's a master class about playing guitar. You will see, just as a precursor to some of you people, some of my more popular guitars that you've seen on my show and seen live with me, might be there. The pedal board might be there. You might get a chance to play through the pedal board. You will get a chance to play through the pedal board. So just to let you know about all that stuff, that's at it's on April 17th. You can dig for the information. It will be in Brantford, Ontario, somewhere. I'm not going to say where it is because people might just show up. Not that I'm that popular, really. No. But anyways, that masterclass is coming up on April 17th. The next one will be in May. The following one will be in June. Those dates are not in stone yet because certain couple bands that I play in are actually booking dates all through those days, those calendar dates right now, so I can't write a date in stone for my master class. Master classes will be continuing throughout the year. I'll probably do a lot in the summertime where there's more time, and they'll be probably based more on gear and stuff like that too. The first 3 are just based on playing, and if you guys like that, if you like that kind of stuff, let me know. Anyhow, ramble on. Find my way, whatever the lyrics are. Anyhow, I had more stuff to talk about, but I rambled on way too much about Rush. So anyhow, enjoy your April. It is now April. It's spring. It's sort of that weird time where you don't know whether you should wear a winter coat, spring jacket, or just complain and just see the sun out and go out in your shorts and t-shirts and freeze your butt off because it's not that warm yet, guys. But I love leather jacket weather. I got to wear my leather jacket on Friday night with my family. We're out in Toronto seeing a show. I wanted to talk about that show, but maybe next week. Anyways, talk to you later. Rambling again. Have a great Sunday. See ya. Oh, happy Easter. Sorry, it is Easter. Happy Easter, guys. I completely forgot to say that. See ya. Bye-bye.